What is an useful skill everyone should learn? When I was in high school and failed to get a summer job, my dad made me cook every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, for the family, every day, for the whole summer, as punishment. On top of that, I wasn't allowed to ever repeat a dish. Worked my way through a whole cookbook, and then some. It ended up being inadvertently the most valuable lesson he ever taught me. Being able to cook a wide variety of really good meals is a constant source of simple joy in my life. Not to mention, it's a massive advantage in the dating scene. Asterisk, frantically writing this down on my list of punishments to give my kids instead of spankings in lectures. Asterisk, learn to swim, learn to swim, learn to swim, learn to swim. Personal finance. You would be shocked at how many people get a crash course in a PR when they max out their first credit card with very little liquid assets. How to listen. A lot of people currently tend to lack the ability to actually listen. It's not about shouting points at each other. It's about shutting up and actually listening to what the other person is saying. When to use instead of an. It's when there's an vowel. Edit. Yes, I know it's the sound of the vowel. I was trying to keep my joke concise. Learn to identify scam messages. No, your computer is not infected with flashing multicolor viruses. No, hot singles are not waiting to meet you. No, you didn't win a contest you didn't enter. No, Nigerian princes are not sharing their fortunes. No, the IRS is not calling you to ask for your personal info or for gift cards. Learn how to say no. No. Good job. How to cook. It always shocks me when someone 18 plus can't make basic food. My mom had to teach my 20-year-old brother how to make a grilled cheese. Then today I had to show him how to separate an egg. Swimming. Basic home repair, minor electrical, minor plumbing, basic automotive repair, oil changes, brakes. When in doubt, YouTube. For basic repairs, not swimming if you're already in the thick of it. How to sew. It really comes in handy so often. Critical thinking. We could use more of that in this day and age. I do want to say that a lot of people think that critical thinking means that people will come to agree with them. And I want to clarify that critical thinking will lead them to make their own opinion that may or may not agree with yours. Self-reflection. You cannot grow as a person without it. First aid and CPR should be a school requirement with certification before kids turn 15. The difference between your and your. They're there. I can see you're passionate about this. Irregardless. Don't let it get you down. Geez, that hurt to write. Sorry to everyone reading it. Kind of tough, but a second language really helps out, especially for job applications. I'm lucky enough to speak 3 languages fluently and I can understand French fairly well, at least on a basic level. In all my 10 years of working, it's always been a major advantage. At the very least, it makes me look interesting, worldly. But usually, it comes in handy at work, too. I recently started learning Japanese for fun and now everyone at work thinks I'm intelligent. Most countries outside of America teach the children at least one other language than their own. How to have compassion for other people's struggles. How to observe situations without being judgmental. How to have respect for yourself and value yourself as an individual. How to be kind to others. How to communicate by actively listening as well as speaking. How to admit when you're wrong and learn from your mistakes. How to plan for the future but live in the moment. How to cook a simple meal. Basic gardening, food preservation, and cooking. And basics of sewing. Tying a proper knot. Learn and practice a few different ones that have different uses. YouTube is filled with lessons. You'll amaze your friends, or even yourself. It's surprisingly easy to tie a hangman's noose, for example. I've impressed many people this way. Basic car care. Everyone should be able to change their own oil and rotate their tires. At a minimum, both are super simple and require only a few tools but can save you a lot of money. I disagree. Sure, it's a useful skill, but changing oil isn't the same as it was 30 years ago. For one, most cars require specialized oil and filters that can run you over $100. Then you need either an industrial jack, or a set of ramps and tire chucks. Not to mention your multi-tool and monkey wrench may or may not be sufficient. Finally, there's the disposal. Meanwhile, for $20 plus parts in an hour you can get your local shop to do it for you. Heck, there's a guy in my town who will come to your house and do it for you. Leased cars can get it for free from your dealer. Rotating tires is cheaper, but massive pain in the butt. Again, easier to just find a shop with a lift. But one thing everyone should know is how to change tires on your own car. I agree with you sort of, but rotating tires is a huge job if you don't have a lift. Know how to maintain your rig is more important. Knowing to change oil on an interval. Air up tires. Add oil as needed. You don't need to do the labor. You need to be able to identify when the labor is needed. Reading the article before commenting. Proper grammar, period, quotation, is not emphasis. My old CEO used to insist on this. Drove me bananas. On the subject of grammar, it's used to understand compound interest. Even if you don't understand it, you're better off just mindlessly contributing some money every month to a Roth IRA than if you saved nothing. Knowing what noises your car shouldn't make. Fixing your own stuff, including electronics like broken screens and other stuff like your car. How to use your goddamn signal lights. Sorry for the anger, but I live in Edmonton. Dog, you say that like anyone uses their turn signal in any part of the world. Excel. At what? At Excel. When I was in high school track, my coach went into cardiac arrest after doing 200-meter sprints with us. Me and some other students got some other teachers and they performed CPR on him until the ambulance arrived. They saved his life. Learn CPR. How to write an email. Seriously, too many people go out into the wide world with no idea how to write a professional level email. Writing one the same way you text won't cut it when you are looking for a job. Partly, people don't understand email as a paper trail to cover your ass. You can tell me 1,000 times over in person, but you have no proof if no email happens. If your boss tells you to do something stupid, get them to email it to you. So when you inevitably get talked to about it, you have an email middle finger. Shutting the fuck up. You scared everyone away from replying to your comment. How to unplug and enjoy silence and solitude. How to break out of someone's grip. I've taught my wife, my daughter, many of my female friends, and back in the day when I was a daycare teacher, all of my students. We had someone try to kidnap one of our older kids once. And that was it. That very day I taught all of the kids and drilled it with them over the next couple of weeks. Even had a grandmother come in to pick up her granddaughter and ask for me specifically so that she could thank me for showing her granddaughter how to do that. Thing to remember, do not try to pull against their fingers. You can hold your body weight by your fingers. Think of hanging from the monkey bars by your fingers. Instead, pull towards their thumb. The thumb is weak in comparison to the fingers. Also scream, fire. Quote, not help. People react faster to fire than they do for help. I hope this helps. Many basic self-defense classes will go over this and more. Remember, you don't need to be an MMA fighter to get yourself out of a bad situation. Basic butchering. Vegans are exempt. Filleting fish. Breaking down poultry, things like that. You never know when you will be able to buy whole chicken but not boneless, skinless chicken tenders. How to manage their money. How to change a tire. Balance a checkbook. Cook. Self-defense. Basic computer skills. How to drive a stick. Balance a checkbook. Just gone back to 1990. Driving a stick sounds really antiquated. I mean, I know car guys are still holding on to it, but really I've never learned and I've gotten by. Fine. Are stick shifts really coming back or gaining popularity? We're going to have cars that make no noise and drive themselves in a few years. If you get a truck, get a stick. That way when someone inevitably wants to borrow it, you can ask if they're able to drive stick. When they say no, then they can't borrow it. It's important to note that driving stick being antiquated is a rather American notion. In most European countries, stick-shift cars are still the norm. Monsieur. Balance a checkbook? My bank told me to not even bother purchasing a checkbook these days, lol. It's the cheapest way to pay some of my bills. 0.50 stamp or $4.95 online fee. Yeah, I'll mail it check. How to extrapolate useful information from biased media sources. How to cook a basic healthy meal. Swimming. It's a life skill. As I told my son's swimming teacher, I don't need it to be pretty. I just need him to learn how to not to drown. Math, statistics, and probability. I would hope any adult understands enough basic math to operate a calculator. But statistics and probability is a very important thing to understand that not many people do. It saddens me to see people in the comments section of art, science or in other places discussing the results based off the headline and abstract, but not stepping back to look at sample size or population characteristics. Take everything with a grain of salt. DBT skills. Dialectical behavior therapy, used as a part of treatment for emotional instability. It teaches core concepts that include mindfulness, distress tolerance, interpersonal relationship skills, radical acceptance, self-soothing when in a state of anger, distress, etc. Truly useful for everyone. Common sense. It's not very common anymore. Cooking. Basic sewing and clothes repair. Ignore someone being a dick face on the net. How to lead effectively. Anyone can be a boss, but it takes a special frame of mind to be a good leader. How to do middle school math. The ability to shut up sometimes and acknowledging that some things might be your fault. How to properly use bleach and other cleaning, sanitizing solutions. Financing. Your wants are not your needs and it should stay like that. Programming. Doing computers in general. Don't tell people that. If everyone is doing it and realize it's not magic, we can't charge such high rates. This skill is highly underrated. You can't live in a digital world and don't know how the stuff works under the cover. Basic first aid skills. Learning to organize your personal finances. I'm 35 and still shy at it. Budgeting. Basic finance. I'm in my 30s and shocked by how many people my age don't understand how credit works. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.